So
we are Bush League Geek. It is the week of June 1st.
Last day of May.
Matt's got it.
Last day of May. Beginning of June. Summer is here. Today, we're going to talk about... See, I can do this. I got this. I can wing it.
Just be serious. Be serious.
Shut up.
Okay. All right, y'all ready? Here we go. All right, welcome to the show, everybody. Bush League Geek, just some average guys want to voice our opinion, and hopefully y'all enjoy it. I'm one of your co-hosts, Brooks.
This is another one of your co-hosts, Cody.
My name is Chris. Just let everybody know I absolutely love chicken nuggets. So
Excellent.
My name's Randall. Kevin, another co-host.
Santi, producer.
And I'm Matt. You can call me Clever Bacon.
All right, guys, and we just we want to start out by going with the DLC, the House of Wolves. Let's start off with what do you guys think about it?
So far, personally, I think it's basically what Destiny should have been when it came out. I love the fact that you can upgrade everything. Like, that's so sweet. Like, they should have did this before. And when you upgrade your weapons, you don't have to like craft them and all that. It just, you keep all your stats and
You
everything.
don't? You can just...
No, you just yeah,
upgrade
like
it.
your exotics,
Done.
you use like an exotic shard, and boom, it's like it upgrades to the highest level it can, and you don't have to redo anything. It's
The
got all
only
perks.
exception to that is when you reforge, it loses progression, and then you have to re-progress.
Yeah,
Other
but
than
you
that.
can only reforge the new queen weapons.
Yeah, I'm a little
All the new
disappointed in
DLC
that,
weapons
actually.
you can do that.
I was
Really?
kind of under
Yeah.
the impression you could have reforged anything purple or better, but that's not
That's
the
kind of
case.
what I thought. I had a vault full of purple weapons, and as soon as I saw you couldn't reforge them, all you could do was upgrade them. I was like, I don't give a damn about these things, and I cleared out half my vault. But it's funny that you say it feels complete now, because that's almost exactly what I said to Santi the first day we played. Is I felt like the game became what I wanted it to be the first day I unwrapped it. Like the world was finally what it should have been originally. I feel almost like they had this in mind initially, and then they said, you know what, let's break it up and let's create some downloadable content. Let's spend a little more time on these things and hash it out, when they should have just said, oh, we have these things. Here, you can have it initially.
Yeah.
If you're going to pay for downloadable content, let's actually give you something good, and not something that feels like we forgot to put it in the original story.
Well, I don't agree with that completely. I think we're definitely a whole lot closer to what they wanted it to be than we got.
Well, my only downfall about the DLC is the fact that even though everyone can be level 34 now and be max level, it's still kind of a pain to upgrade your stuff. A lot of people went in to Destiny thinking that, oh man, I want to upgrade Fatebringer, Vision of Confluence, all my armor, Gallowhorn, everything instantly. And the only things you can upgrade instantly is your exotics.
Exotics,
In
yeah.
order to get the Ethic Light, you have to be playing the hardest things in the game to get it. You got to get 6 wins in Trials of Osiris, which is silver tier package, which guarantees you Ethic Light. You got your 34 and 35% Elders, which gives you Ethic Light, and then the Nightfall.
Screw that Prison of Elders.
And the Nightfall is
Looking
more just
better.
like a random drop,
That
so you
34
can't
is
really.
ridiculous.
But there's no raid.
Huh?
There's not that's the main part. Like, Destiny got so boring that it was just the raid. Like, the raid is all I would do. I would do the raid 6 times.
Well, yeah, that's why I
That's-
took a break for
It was
like
Where
just-
Prison of Elders comes in, it's that hard.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
pretty difficult.
Yeah,
It really is.
I have friends that are literally doing level 34, 35 for 4 or 5 hours, and they still didn't complete it.
We did level 34.
We just did 30,
or
32, and
for
we
like
got to
2 hours, got to round 4, and we were so sick of it. We're like,
Right.
Shit out of me, man. I would help.
Well, and it was because we were in level 32 with what, 2 32s and
2 32s and a
and a-
31.
was it
Oh,
31?
the 34? Yeah,
No, we were
no.
doing
No, we're
32.
32.
Oh, okay. I was like, don't do that.
I don't think you
Yeah.
were available.
This is one of those where even at level, it's hard.
It was
Oh yeah,
hard.
oh yeah. Even if you're 33 or 34 and you're still going into the 32, it's still a pain. Like, someone added me to the thing because I helped them out earlier, and they're like, "You helped me out, and it was much easier with you in here." And I got in, and we had to do the 4th round like 10 times. I was like, "It's still not a piece of cake. It's
Right.
still gonna be."
I'd
issues."
like to sometime this week, you, me, and Matt do 32 if we can get the time together.
Yeah, I'm up. got rid of my secondary hunter, and now I'm finally building a Titan.
What?
So
It's about
he should be 33 by
That
end
Titan,
of
son.
I feel like you're raising a
tomorrow or
kid.
tonight.
When did you start on it?
He should be eating solid food by the end of the day.
You've already? Oh, okay,
You
it's
started
level 9.
it Friday night.
Yeah,
Oh, but you
it's
got the
Friday
gear.
night. Yeah, I only got
Yeah.
the plan for like 3 hours and he's level 9. But yeah, I already got the gear.
Man, he's all,
That's one of the benefits of having like two other level 30 plus characters, is
You get
because
so
you can
much.
take all the engrams and just dump them to your low level.
And another great thing about the DLC is I absolutely love all the new exotics. They look great. They all have good functions. For instance, the Titan gauntlets that you can get, the ACD feedbacks, if they hit you, it makes area damage around you.
Oh, that's cool.
So you hurt them when they hit you, and then you can just punch them, they die.
Yeah, what is it? The
It's
Warlock.
awesome.
The Warlock gauntlets. Whenever you actually do Fireborn on Sunsinger, it gets people away from you.
Yeah.
Nice. So you
I've always
you can
wondered
actually
why they
do it
didn't
and
do
not
something
just
more
save
with
it
that,
for when
because
you
you know
die.
you're
It'd be
like
great for
you're
Nightfalls
glowing
and
this
stuff.
radiant light,
Yeah, like
and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, like you're sitting there, like you know how we would do the Nightfalls, and you sit there and like, all right, don't worry about it, I got my radiance. Well, then
Yeah.
that last person dies,
Exactly.
and there's everyone around your ball, and as soon as you hit up, if light switches on, you're
You're
radiant's
dead.
screwed.
Yeah.
You're screwed.
Yeah, that's happened.
You're like, I can res. Oh crap!
Oh,
Like,
I did
One hit.
Another thing about the Etheric Light, though, is I feel like I'm happy about the fact that they made it hard for you to get it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Granted, the only problem with it is once you finally get it, you don't know what to do with it. You're trying to figure out, should I upgrade my armor so I have more opportunities to get Etheric Light, or should I upgrade Fatebringer, my favorite gun in the game? And so what I did personally is I've completely ignored my Warlock. I've had 3 opportunities to upgrade him to 34, but I was like, I have my 200, so I was like, I'll upgrade him sooner or later. And then I used my Etheric Light to upgrade Fatebringer and Vision of
I would
Confidence.
personally like to not talk about Fatebringer.
have you still not got one?
I still don't have one.
Hey, I still don't have
I don't have one
Hawkmoon.
either.
I still,
You know?
I still
Oh,
don't
yeah.
have Hawkmoon, and like one person that's I'm always in a party with whenever I'm joining Super Dave is he's like, oh yeah man, I've got like 3 Hawkmoons this week. I'm like, that's cool. I'm gonna leave.
I have
and you guys have a good time.
Now I do have 3 Hawkmoons.
I'm about to say, I got two right before the DLC dropped. I got 2, and Chris is like, "Man, are you kidding me?"
I finally got mine fully upgraded last week. It's
I got
pretty
the
sweet.
last of the PlayStation exclusives last week. I got the Fourth Horseman.
Oh yeah,
I still have not seen that.
Fourth Horseman's sweet. I got that too. I hadn't used
It's
it
a
in
shotgun,
long
so
Well,
I'm not going to use it much anyway.
All right, let me ask then. So all the DLC, like you said before, like this is where Destiny should have went.
Right.
Okay, so if we'd have waited 4 months for the game to release, and they charged you what $90 for the game,
No.
With the DLC, it would have been close to that.
Well, actually,
That's
no,
what I'm
I guess
saying.
total it was about 90.
because to get both DLCs in there a pack for $30.
Yeah.
something
Right,
like
but
that.
I feel like there are so many games that are selling a season pass now that they're not giving you.
Yeah,
the
Batman
entire
Arkham
game.
Knight season pass.
This is-
That's what I'm
Literally,
saying.
all it
If-
says
if
is
we-
characters and skins.
if they
and it's
could
$40
say if they
bucks.
could have charged you 10 more bucks, waited and released the entire game, would you rather have it that way? So you have the entire game, or would
I
you
don't
rather
think
have
they
it come
could have
out
waited.
They-
I don't
And to be
think
honest
so.
with you,
I
I
would've
think the
been
reason I say that they could not have waited is because I personally feel like, and this is not based on any facts of any sort, just what I've seen. I feel like Destiny releasing when it did, with it having an exclusive PlayStation console bundle, it helped the PlayStation win the console wars.
I could see
True.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, so PlayStation did win over Xbox?
PlayStation's been winning
It's
since they
been
released.
winning
Always
Nice.
one.
Xbox finally outsold PlayStation. I want to say in December for the holiday season, and they only
Well, that was
stayed-
because they dropped it in
I'm not
price.
saying it's 'cause they dropped-
it's
yeah.
only because they dropped in price, and they only lasted as #1 system being sold every month for like 3 months, and then PlayStation was
See, I
on
think
top.
That's where they messed up.
There's
but-
already rumors going around that there's memos inside Microsoft that the One may be their last console.
Well, and it didn't help
Wow.
that the one. Okay, and I say this not out of spite, but I own both systems,
I've owned both before.
and I bought the Xbox One specifically for the Halo collection,
Yeah.
and then that sucker was dead out of the box.
Yeah.
That's
It is.
right. I remember you were having a
Its,
lot of
its
issues
matchmaking
connecting.
is still messed up. I'm talking like I bought the game and the system and everything at midnight that night when the game released. Came home, wanted to open it all up and play it. Nope. It was like a 7 gig, it was like a 2 or 3 gig update for the system itself, so that took an hour. And then the game, to download all 3 of those games, because they weren't physically on the disc, it was like the disc prompted the download, and it was like tens of gigs, 20s of gigs.
Mama Santy gonna get your ass.
We talked about this before.
I know.
I'll take phones away.
Are we gonna make a stack of
Since
phones?
you brought up Xbox and the new Silent Hill video game that was supposed to come out that kind of got canceled, I heard that Xbox is going to be the exclusive for it now.
Silent Hills?
I wouldn't doubt
Silent
it
Hill.
because
Yeah, the Silent
Xbox
Hill one.
needs something big to keep them going.
They
Well,
are.
they do
Yeah,
have
Sunset Overdrive, everybody was so excited for it, and that game, even though the game was great for like 2 weeks, that was the end of
They do
all I heard
have
from
a.
it.
They do have a big thing
Okay.
coming.
I bought Sunset Overdrive. It's an awesome game.
Yeah.
I heard it was.
But it is not a longevity game.
Yeah.
It is not something that you want to just keep playing
It's
over
kind
and
yeah,
over.
it's kind of like Dead Rising. You just want to go in there, do some stuff, and then that's it.
Right.
Well, the Xbox does have it looks like they have like the exclusive stuff with Star Wars with the controllers and stuff like that.
Don't.
Oh, yeah.
No,
You're so angry.
well, the thing is we have to
So
cover
bad
that because
about
not
that.
only do they have exclusive controllers, they're getting the game almost 2 weeks early.
Exactly, and I'm so mad about
I
it.
have
And-
no
and
idea
you know,
how Microsoft pulled that off.
If it
Aren't they
wasn't
gonna
for
have-
the online aspect of it, I would buy it early on the Xbox One. But then I couldn't play with any of you guys, and I'd be like,
I would come over here and play. I'd be like, hey, let's just play together.
Let's
Sleepover.
just play together. Yeah, it's funny you said that about the Xbox though, because I know a lot of people who only buy it just for Halo. Like
Right.
Pop bought it like I think a couple months ago,
He
and
got
he
a
got
deal
it just so
on
he
it.
could
He
play.
got a deal
He
on
got
it.
a good deal, but the only reason he wanted it was for Halo.
That's
it.
really the
What's
only
so-
reason I was going to
yeah.
buy it too.
what's so screwed up about that is I bought it at midnight because you used to, and this is going to date me. You used to go and buy a game at midnight and come home and play it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I still do it, man.
Right.
I still do it.
So this, I had to be at work at 6 o'clock the next morning. Well, when Halo 4 released, me and a couple of friends all went and got it at midnight and came over here and played till I had to go to work the next day. I just went to work without sleeping. Screw it. Didn't care. It was Halo. We had to play the storyline until we were done. So we did that and tried doing the same thing when the Halo collection released for the Xbox One. And myself and a couple of other friends actually bought Xbox Ones specifically for that. And then it took 3-4 hours for the first game to be done downloading. And then, not only did it take forever for the download to finish,
Another update file.
but then, but then the matchmaking was broken. So you could play the story, but you couldn't play it with anyone. And you couldn't play the multiplayer with anyone. It wouldn't connect. It wouldn't matchmake for anything. And that was hosted for like a month.
That's
And
ridiculous.
that's
And that's
absolutely
just done.
unacceptable. It's not that it's just ridiculous. 343 is Microsoft. Microsoft should not have anything even remotely looking like a server issue. They're too big for that. There's too much money there. They've got server farms that don't do anything.
Well,
Just sitting there.
Well, Microsoft kind of screwed themselves over with Bungie because Destiny would have been an Xbox exclusive if it wasn't for the fact that Microsoft said, no, we don't want you to create any other games but Halo.
Right.
And Bungie was just like, all right, well, no. So that's when they created their sister branch or whatever and made 343 Studios and boom.
Well, if you go back and look at like Microsoft, their big issue is putting stuff out before I guess it's really ready to try to compete with everything. I mean, how many issues have they had with everything, including the 360?
Well,
Red Ring?
the thing with Microsoft
You know?
is Microsoft's betas are usually most companies' finals, and I think they've gotten used to that. They're just used to that level of quality, and with this game division, they're not getting it like they did with the Windows division
Yeah,
and the Office
There's
division.
something about the Xbox. There's something about Microsoft in general that is such an American company.
Yeah.
It only appeals to American people.
I want to say that has to do with indie games because even with the 360, you literally only got like indie arcade games, mainly for the 360.
Well,
a lot of developers
until
did
the-
it that way.
Until the one,
Yeah, until the one.
the game division of Microsoft was a division, where it's Sony, the PlayStation is run as a separate company. With Nintendo, that's all they make is games. Sony makes all kinds of stuff, but their game department is run as its own company. At Microsoft, until the one, it's been run as a department.
Hey, let's talk about Nintendo. Let's talk about the Wii U that I have that prompts me every now and then about some advertisement, and that's the only reason I remember that I have one.
You talking about the end of Nintendo?
Yeah, very well. Maybe the end of Nintendo.
So-
Oh no, man, you get some intense Mario Kart. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Hey, I played the crap out of it when the last Mario Kart came out, and then I put it back.
Well,
I'm
when
just
was
saying-
the last time that you played something on a Nintendo system other than Mario Kart?
Super Smash Brothers.
Actually,
Well,
I
no,
played
hold
that
on,
for about a week and put it down too.
I will say this: back whenever I had a
Zelda.
Wii, the most fun that I think we had when I had people over, had like a little drinking thing going on, hanging out. You get some Mario Party 8 going on. You get some drinking involved with some grown adults.
Playing that right now.
But,
It
like,
gets
the last-
intense,
The
man.
last two Mario parties have been horrible.
My favorites are still 6 and 7 on the GameCube. Because 8 was very disappointing for the Wii.
I don't know, man. The
So
very
we had,
first Mario
eight, we
Party.
had
So you got blisters on your hands from that fishing one.
How'd that go again? How'd you fish?
Like that.
But it,
Smacking that fish.
I remember it, man.
but it looks like Nintendo might be seeing what's coming because they're starting to make games for other platforms, and this is kind of how it started with Sega. And I mean, I don't want to see Nintendo go to just making games, but it would be kind of cool to see Mario on a PlayStation.
Well, I'm really pumped for E3 coming up here soon, and I'm going to be writing a big old segment on the website about it. So
Where were you going to say go?
I want to play Zelda, but I have to buy a Wii. I don't want to just go buy a Wii just to play Zelda. I would like, if they start making games for other platforms, that would be, hey, I can play Zelda again.
That's the only reason I own the new 3DS is because of the last Zelda game.
Which I understand having to sell consoles and everything, but you would think that there would be some sort of money behind sharing.
Well, see, that's the
It's
thing.
competition. That's just
Well,
basic
that's
economics.
where they make their money. They sell the hardware at a loss, and then you have to pay them. You have to pay Nintendo or Sony or Microsoft to make a game. That's where they make their money. If it was all cross-share, we could play anything on anything, they wouldn't make money.
What I want to... Okay, so back to playing it's everything on everything. I don't care necessarily to play Zelda on a PlayStation or something of that sort. But what I want to know is why is it, when they came out with the GameCube, 15 years ago? They had a Game Boy.
Dear God.
Right. 15 years
Yeah, we're
ago,
old.
they had a bolt-on Game Boy player for it. You could literally play Game Boy games on your TV.
Mhm.
Why did that stop at that generation?
Sales.
There's no loss to that. You could charge $100 for that, where they charge $150 for a DS. Charge $100 for that, have it bolt onto the Wii somehow, and play that game on the TV just as easy. You could sell that many more cartridges. But instead, they're making you buy a different platform and play it a different way because they want you to be portable. And I get that there's a touch screen and there's different interactions and this and that, but whatever.
Well, the question of that is, and you and I both worked retail when that happened. Did you notice any drop in sales in Game Boys because of that?
Not ever. Not ever. There's never been a drop in sales of Game Boys.
Well, that's because of our generation. You know, those what I want to say vintage, maybe throwback stores are actually there's more being profitable, I guess, with all the throwback games because that's becoming more and more popular. So I'm with you. Like, why not do a Game Boy
Why can
hookup
only,
of some kind? Or, you know,
why is Nintendo the only company that can make a successful handheld in this country?
Hey,
Well-
I don't know. I just bought a Vita yesterday.
I have a Vita.
Right, but you know how often I actually use my Vita? When the free games come out each month, I'll get on them and download them. I'll play them. That's about
I
it.
have bought a grand total of 3 games for my Vita.
I own no physical games for my
Now-
Vita.
Now back to Destiny. There's a kid that he played with some people. I think they played with Super Dave, whatever. But he was a kid, and of course, you know, he had bedtime and all that other stuff.
I think I know what you're talking about.
So
that was
he would get on his Vita
Yeah, and play Destiny remotely.
and
I
run
did that yesterday.
the sword on
He
Crota.
can actually control it well enough.
He would rock the sword on Crota and finish Crota
Alright, good
on
on,
his
guys.
Vita.
Before
Yeah.
his mama came in there.
That's
It's gonna
that's
take,
impressive.
So that way
I
he can
tried
play
to-
and not get in trouble.
I tried doing the whole remote screen.
It's gonna take me some time to like figure it out, but for a while there I couldn't figure out how to run. All you do is just press forward and then a little directional pad. You just press down on the
Press the
directional
down
pad
and
and
the
it runs. I was like,
yeah.
wait a second, I got this. Hold on.
Well, it
And that was
takes
it.
well, 'cause, you know you hold your controller a certain way, so to do that you have to get used to holding it a different way, and
Yeah.
it's a little difficult.
it took me a while. I was like, how do I mail it? And then I didn't know that you can actually look up the button guide for the game. So
Isn't it just touching the
because
right
I
side
thought
of the
maybe if I
screen?
looked at the button guide, it's just gonna be regular PS4 controllers.
Yeah.
They have like a little sub
Not
menu.
enough
And it's like
buttons.
if you want to do this, press this. And so I tapped the screen, and my dude's like, I was like.
I mean, I'm not upset that I have a Vita, but if I didn't spend as much time in lobbies and stuff, I wouldn't have bought one. Because I would have no reason for mobile gaming.
Well, I mainly bought it just for whenever, let's say, I go to my sister's or something like that. I'm tired of bringing my whole system there and stuff like that, and I'm usually just sit there for like 3 hours a day. So I'm just like,
Well, and that's it, like
It's
where
game.
you talking about where you don't want to bring your whole system. I wish
Yeah.
there was some way to play the game without the PS4 being in the same room.
Yeah, no, that's what I was
When
saying.
the
I
share
mean-
play limits you to an hour, which we did that a couple of times with Little Big Planet, and that's a nice feature.
The share play, that's a little different than the second screen thing. The share play is actually really cool. I was impressed by that. So he has a copy of Little Big Planet 3, and I have no interest in buying that game, but I've played all the previous ones, so it'd be cool to play it together. He can share it to me through the PlayStation Network, and it mirrors his screen on my screen, and then he can provide me with a controller 2-port, like a virtual controller 2-port. So the one I'm playing on is essentially controller 2 on his system.
It's like we're
yeah,
sitting on
see,
the
that's
same
how Far
couch.
Cry 3 worked.
Yeah.
I mean, not Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4.
The problem with share play is you get an hour. That's all you get.
Yeah,
And then you got to stop the session and restart.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was real curious about the Vita too. So with remote play, how does that work? Don't you have to be like on the same Wi-Fi?
You have to be on the
Yeah.
same
You have to be
Wi-Fi.
on the same
that's what I
network.
thought.
Well, see, that's I was talking to one of the guys in the party. He actually went on a road trip and just used his phone's 4G and connected to his PS4, and the whole road trip was just in there playing.
Well,
Destiny.
and I've wondered if there's a way to set up a VPN for your house. to do that.
Because there's a certain checkbox underneath that you have to uncheck, and so it's kind of a hassle. But yeah, I'm excited to start trying to use it and figure it all out.
Yeah.
Because
thought-
apparently the way it goes, if you have the box checked, it only connects through the Wi-Fi from your PlayStation. So you're actually using your PlayStation's internet. But if you have the box unchecked, then it's the Vita's going online automatically throughout its own self. So it works out. But
Yeah, I thought about getting a Vita, but
You know, I tried
It's a nice system, but we don't get the cool one that Japan gets. So
I tried like the DS and stuff like that. You know, someone's kid had it, and I was like, all right, I'll try it out or whatever. I just maybe me being the old school Game Boy whatever person, I don't like the way I don't like them.
See, I still have my Sega Game Gear.
Nice.
I remember
It takes the
those things,
4
man.
AA batteries.
The ones you can
Or
knock somebody
eight
out with.
AA batteries. 8 AA batteries.
I think the last one I bought was a Game Boy Advance, and I played Harry Potter on it. I was just like, this is...
there's an Atari Lynx over there somewhere. I mean, you want to get?
Oh yeah, it's it's down there in that little thing.
got a question, not to change subjects or anything like that, but who's excited for Entourage this coming weekend?
Honestly, I've never watched Entourage before.
Man.
I need to download that.
What?
Or find some place I can stream it. I heard it's awesome.
I never watched Entourage, so I don't...
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
never
heard it's
see it.
really good and I like it. Like my ex-girlfriend got me season 1 like a long time ago, but
Is
I
that
never
why she's
watched
your
any
ex?
of it.
Because she got you season 1 of Entourage?
Yeah.
Hey,
I was like, I don't watch this show. What's wrong with you? Like, give me something I like. Not that it's not a cool show.
It's a
Like
great
I've
show.
watched like 1 or 2 episodes. I did like it. It was just one of those things that it's like it had gone on for so long. I didn't want to jump like in the middle of it, and then time goes on. And it's like you just never watched it. So I don't know. I might binge watch it because I heard how many? It's only like
8 seasons.
8 seasons, but there's like what 10 episodes a season
I
or
wanna
something
say
like
that,
that.
That actually
Yeah,
brings
it's
up
like half hour.
It brings up
piece.
a good point. People versus critics. For the people who
Yeah, I haven't seen any reviews of it
for the
yet.
people who haven't watched the entire season and then they go see the movie, are the critics going to give it like an ungodly rating to where me go and see it like, it was all right.
Well, yeah. That's a good thing to bring up. Let's talk about that. Like, we're all moviegoers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us just went and watched Mad Max, and with that, it got a great rating, but me personally, I thought it was missing something. But I see where you're coming from as far as like, if you didn't watch the seasons of whatever, like say if they come out with a Sopranos movie, they come out with a, whatever. I'm just saying like.
I never watched that either.
Yeah, but okay, like me personally, I love Mad Men. If they come out with a Mad Men movie, would I enjoy it more than y'all would? Would the critics see something different?
Mm-hmm.
So
just because you've seen it.
Just because I know the backstory and things like that, or if it's going to come up with.
Yeah, and that's
whatever.
a good question. Like, I wonder, do you need to see like all of Entourage to actually like the movie that much, or is it just going to be something you can go into and just love?
That's just like seeing
and just not know the backstory.
It's just like seeing the Mad Max movie. Should you have seen all the ones from the '80s and then see? And then see this one. I mean, I thought it was a real good movie, but for Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Hot tamales.
To give it a 98% and then go see Schmenders. That had a good story and good action, and it got a less rating. I mean, that's, to me, it was good, but I don't think it deserved 98%.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like that too. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved Mad Max. To me, it was perfect,
action.
A perfect sequel to the original ones, and I think it's really good that George Miller came back and did it because he had all those same elements in it. One of the things I was curious about was where did this take place, on the timeline. And at first, I wasn't sure if it was just a standalone reboot.
It feels like they went straight from the second.
Yeah, that's how it feels. And also, I noticed in the beginning of the movie, I think he had that brace on his leg. Because in the first movie, he gets his knee blown out or whatever. And that's another one of the things that I loved about the original movies. Is that, well, first of all, Mad Max, the character himself, is just the perfect action man. He doesn't say a lot of lines. I think in Road Warrior, the second one, he only spoke 16 lines.
Right.
He
didn't say much at all.
But that's what I love about it is because he's
fight.
And that's what I love about it is just because he's a man of action. And, that's my kind of action flick. I like just adrenaline pump, let's just get it done type stuff. And one of the cool things... Yeah, like John Wick, another excellent movie. But yeah, one of the things I liked about the originals is that he would get hurt or something in the first movie. In the third movie, he's still got that same injury from the first one. It just carries on, and it's a lot of movies don't do that these days. The hero gets all shot up and stuff, and you had a sequel, and it's he's in perfect health. He has no injuries.
It's like Kung Fury.
Yeah, just
I have to wear your bullets.
I will say, coming from a knee injury, you wake up in the morning, you're like, I can imagine getting shot 6 times. I mean, if I move my arm, I'd be like, oh, hold on.
You know what? One of the best movies I've seen as far as knee injuries go and showing the aftermath. Have you guys seen Welcome to the Punch?
No.
Oh,
up.
Kill me if I'm saying that wrong, but
who's in it?
James McAvoy and Mark Strong.
Oh, good cast.
While y'all are looking that up, I do want to say about Mad Max. I gotta get Tom Hardy. I mean, so far, Bane, and then him doing the Mad Max.
He is,
but just,
Bane.
I've enjoyed his acting from Layer Cake. That's the first movie I ever saw him in, and he was
Rock and Roller.
And Rock and Roller.
Oh yeah, that's
I
right.
still have to watch that.
He was his
gay
friend.
It
was so funny, man. I love that movie.
But
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, but just like his in Mad Max, his kind of talking to himself and the grunting and the wide eyes, him actually being mad.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great touch, but
the grunt, the communicating with grunts.
Yeah, I love the part where they're in the truck and he's gathering up all the weapons and he's just and he's snapping at that one girl. He keeps just saying, "Hey, grab that," but he's
or when he sees these 4 beautiful women hosing themselves off in water, he's just water.
Water. You. That's an excellent movie.
Yeah, there's the rumors of him possibly trying to become the next Punisher. And if that happens,
I
I'll
think
be
that'd be
I
so
did hear that. I did hear
pumped.
that.
That'd be so
If
good.
they do it right,
Yeah, if they do it right, I think he'd be a good one.
he would be awesome.
Well, I think the first reboot of the Punisher, I forgot who plays him. The one movie with John Travolta in it. I thought that overall
Tom
was actually
Jane
a
or
pretty
whatever
good.
he
Oh
is.
yeah, Thomas
Punisher,
Jane.
Yeah,
Thomas Jane.
Oh,
Yeah, actually, I mean, I liked that when it came out.
yeah.
You know,
That's what I mean. I thought it
but
was-
that second one with Ray
Terrible.
Stevenson in it,
the Warzone.
yeah, Warzone.
Well,
It was not as good, like as far as the story and stuff goes. But I think he made a great Punisher.
Y'all do know that there was a Punisher even before all that, right?
Yeah,
Dolph
Dolph
Lundgren.
Lundgren.
Dolph
Okay,
Lundgren,
there's a
yeah.
lot of people that don't know about the Dolph
That's a
Lundgren Punisher.
classic, yeah.
that's like my dad. My dad always says, "I love the first Punisher," and I'm like, "You mean Dolph Lundgren?" He's like, "No, that other one." And he's talking about the Thomas Jane one.
Oh,
Speaking
Well, let's get.
speaking of action films, Kingsman. Have you guys seen that?
Oh, yeah,
We
watched-
have,
yes.
we have.
That movie was
have all
amazing,
seen
man. The,
No,
the
Chris.
church sequence was awesome.
Well, let's go. Okay, so let's get back on topic of the people versus critics thing. We were all talking about how Mad Max was awesome and everything, but it missed something. But it got a really good rating on some sites. So since Chris
some
brought
of the
up
highest, some
Kingsman,
of the highest ratings we've ever
Yeah, exactly.
seen.
Ever. It's nearly
Ever.
perfect, which is ridiculous. I mean,
so let's
like I
use
said, I
okay. So
love
let's
it,
use
but-
Kingsman, right? Action was there,
Had a good storyline.
good storyline, and
Good story.
everything, and it got what 60 something,
Kingsman.
looking
No,
at-
Kingsman got a 75, I
70
believe.
70 something.
I'm looking at an 8 of 10 right here.
Yeah. One side.
74 on that
The
one
thing is,
site
though,
with the right
It's
vegetable.
overall
The
Metascore.
VeggieTales of critics.
Yes.
The Metascore, which is like the average of all scores, is a 58.
A 58. Like what did you think, Randall?
I loved it. I mean, it was easy to follow. You didn't lose your interest from it at all.
Yeah.
Especially at the very end when you got to let the princess out.
Best part of the movie.
That's
man.
my part right there.
Best part.
Speaking of that particular part,
I know
They-
where you're going with this.
there are versions of that have cut that one line.
That one line.
Yeah, where he's supposed to
If
have
you
a
save the
specific
world,
type
we'll do it
of
in the butt.
yeah, sex with her. Yeah, I looked that up and I was like
Well,
looking at
keep
my
that-
version and I was like, why don't I have this
I do
version?
like how you try to keep that about as PG as
understand.
possible. Like,
Yeah.
it's like that one version of
So
the thing
there
that you
are
can do.
there are digital downloads available that have certain scenes edited
Yeah.
out. The problem is
North
there's
Carolina.
there's nothing that really specifies that the version you're watching is not the full thing. And that's
Yeah, there's really not, because
Well, see,
I had
like,
no
I think-
idea until like I was on YouTube watching reviews and the guy was like, let's talk about the princess joke. And I was
Right.
like, the princess joke? What's he talking
I've
about?
seen, I had the
Shit.
version you're talking
Yeah.
about, and he had the full. And I went and I saw it in theaters,
Mhm.
and I was like, something's missing.
I hate that about going to see movies. I'll get all excited and I'll go see it, and then someone's like, "Yo, did you see the alternate ending?" And I was like, "What do you mean alternate ending?" He's like, "Yeah, there's like 3 different endings, and people are experiencing different ones in different states." I'm like, I gotta see these movies. I gotta
I
go.
gotta
I've
watch.
got to go to Tennessee
Oh,
to watch this.
That's like
Tennessee.
I've heard that there are some leaked downloads out of Kingsman, and it has come out that they took out the church scene in some of them.
How do you even do that?
Right.
How do you
Yeah,
think
was a
because
big
when
turning
I was
point
looking
for
for
me.
it before like I could get a good version of it.
Digital download.
No, wait, no, not digital download. I was gonna purchase this, okay?
A purchase digital download.
Purchase
On the
digital
PlayStation.
download.
Google Play
On the
Store.
PlayStation
Yeah,
Store.
Google Play
Play
Store.
Store.
But I was reading reviews, and yeah, there was a lot of people talking about certain ones, and they're like, "Yeah, no church scene, no church scene." And of course, at the time, I didn't know what they were talking about. But when I watched the movie, I was like, "There's no way you can watch this movie without that scene because it's probably like
It's
the
better-
best.
it's one of
It's
the
probably
best
the
scenes in the
best
movie.
in that."
And it's not even that; it's instrumental to the plot.
Yeah, and
Right.
it really is because that's like when you first figure out like what this guy's like whole plan is with like what is he doing with the SIM card?
Well, not only
Yeah.
yeah, because you think like okay, the mastermind, helping the world out kind of thing. Whenever the Kingsman, he's like, "What did you do? I couldn't control myself." Kind of thing.
and he
like,
wanted to.
yeah, like he had the urge. He had that massive urge just to brutally. I mean, that was a brutal. I can see where they would want to cut it out because of the brutality of it. But
It's awesome.
Or even that it's essentially like a hate group, and they're killing off a hate group.
Yeah, but
But
still,
you
those-
know what? It is not any worse than Kill Bill was as far as gore. And in the theaters, they
No.
had that full thing in there.
and I understand, yeah. I'm with you on that. But I think, Matt, I see what you're saying. Like the whole, but see, like.
It's almost like an anti-Westboro Baptist
But
church kind of
did
thing.
you ever see Red State?
No.
Red State. Okay, Red State's Kevin Smith's movie. No, the Clerks guy and everything. Yeah. So he made the movie Red State. It is specifically poking at the Westboro Baptist. It's basically a church. They lure people. They lure these kids in. The story where you pick up on it. They lure these kids in with sex from the internet, whatever, saying that they can hook up with this chick. Well, they show up, 3 kids. They get drunk or they have, a beverage and they end up passing out. And then it shows them in like dog kennels at this church. This one dude's wrapped in plastic around a cross, and because he's gay, they put one on the top of his head and then wrap him up in plastic, and they're trying to rid the world of whatever.
Wow.
And it turns out that SWAT team shows up. Somehow they get found out. SWAT team shows up. This huge firefight. But, it's okay because they're doing it in the eyes of the Lord. So, that movie went through. Nothing got edited out of that or anything. Now, maybe he did some sort of independent thing. Maybe that's why. Mm. But I don't see where that would be, why they would cut out the church scene just because of that particular issue.
Yeah.
What were you trying to say?
Also, thanks for ruining that movie for me. It's all good.
That movie, there's nothing to ruin about that movie.
And it's not like this movie is rated PG-13 or anything.
And it's not like Kevin Smith's banking on you buying that movie right now. Yeah.
But
I don't know. It's on Netflix and everything. I mean, he made money off of it.
I was watching.
He has a new movie coming out too, don't he? Mallrats? Is he bringing?
Let's talk about
no,
his
he's
last
doing
one.
another Clerks, I believe.
Is it another Clerks?
Has anyone seen Tusk?
No.
Oh
no! I wanted
no
to.
Desire.
Yeah.
I
suggest you all watch Tusk and let me know what you think.
Is it like the Human Centipede?
It's kind of like is it like a parody of that?
From what I saw the commercial or the trailer, he was making fun of the Human Centipede movie.
No, thank you.
It's definitely on a top 5 list. I wouldn't say that top 5 is the best movies I've ever seen.
Well, that's like, I'm one of those people. I'm very interested in critics' opinions and stuff. And people's opinions and stuff. So, yes, I made the mistake and I watched Human Centipede.
Oh.
Then you had to watch the second one.
No, Randall's right. So I was like, okay, so they made a second one. How in holy hell did they make a second one? But I'll start watching it.
I mean, you can only sew so many people's mouths.
Oh, so they made a third. They made 3 of them. Okay.
I mean,
so the
why
second
would you even want to watch that?
Well, because again, I'm curious.
I have no desire to watch the first one.
But
I'm just like, no.
Here's a good comparison. What were we just talking about? We were just talking about the movie critics' score of certain movies. Kingsman, a meta score of 58. Tusk, I'm just going to throw it. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Has a meta score of 55.
That's wow.
See, I don't understand how that works.
For those who don't know, Tusk is basically Justin Long getting turned into a walrus
by a crazy dude.
In a wheelchair. But yeah, no. So I started watching Human Centipede 2. Right?
If you're bored and you have Netflix pulled up,
I would never be that bored.
You don't know what you want to put on in the background. You're gonna vacuum the house or something. Put that on just so you can get to the end and see him sewn together as a human walrus going,
If I were to watch that movie, I'd have to have a garbage can in front of me.
So spoiler alert to all our people here. He just turned into a walrus.
I didn't have a desire to watch it, but now I kind of want to see it.
Is it one of those train wrecks where you're like, okay, I've got to kind of watch this.
Okay, what's probably the worst? Okay, I'm going to throw out my worst movie that I've ever seen in my life, and I went and saw this in the theater when I was a kid. And it has stuck with me ever since. When I think of bad movies, I think of Billy Zane in The Phantom.
Oh, man, I actually like that movie.
Actually, let's just go with that. Brooks, worst movie
ever. Man, worst movie ever. You know what? You put me on the spot. You're going to skip me. I'll have to think about that because I've seen some. I don't know if... Go ahead, Cuddy.
I don't know. This is a tough one for me, too. When I want to talk about worst movies I've ever seen, I kind of want it to be something that I thought was going to be awesome, But in this case, I think I'll go with that movie Sleeping Beauty with the girl from Sucker Punch. I think of Emily Browning or something like that. I watched it on Netflix once. It's honestly one of the most horrible movies I've ever seen.
That's how I felt about Sucker Punch.
Yeah, this is the plot.
Sucker Punch.
This is the plot. It's
visually
about this young girl who her job is basically she just sleeps in this room. Like she drinks this special tea with some kind of sedative in it.
GHB.
And while she's asleep,
yeah.
and while she's
more
asleep,
effective with
like all of this gets recorded. But while she's asleep, these like creepy ass old men just come in and do like whatever they want. Like, and it's all videotaped, and they dress her up, and they wear like lingerie.
Yikes!
It's ridiculous. Like,
it's
it's
wear
the
lingerie.
Yeah, but it's like, but there's
That's a
no
detail that needs to be
yeah,
solidified.
but there's like no plot to it,
It's like
and the
it's like-
ending. And I'm just gonna tell you, the ending is just that. Like that's what happens the whole movie. There's no plot. There's no structure. Nothing ever happens. She talks like twice, I think. And the movie, when it ends, she's just in the room, like laying there, and some other old guy walks in. And I'm like, what the hell did I just watch? It's kind of like watching a surveillance video of the room. That's what it feels like. And that's the whole movie.
That's kind of the way you feel about that, the expectation versus disappointment at the end. That's kind of how I felt about Sucker Punch, since you mentioned her.
That's what was going to be my film. I was going to
Right.
See, I thought Sucker Punch
Go ahead and take that one and run with it.
I
The
thought Sucker Punch
visuals
was like, the
visuals of that movie
Story
were
was
great.
great.
Visuals
Yeah.
and maybe the fight scenes, but overall, it was just completely out there. It
Well,
was.
But it was like them
My
holding a big
problem-
pile of shit in one hand and going, pretty over here.
My problem with that movie is that none of it was real. Like,
Right.
they're just
Yeah,
fucking
there's-
psycho. Oh, I'm sorry. They're just psycho in that movie.
He let
And-
that slip all day.
That's all right, yeah. Hey, and if we're here or there, like I said, whoever's listening, we are adults and we're going to show up and voice our opinion. So
This is not a kid's show.
yeah, this is not a
We're
kid
about-
show. So put the kids to bed before you
can
start
mute
listening.
that.
to this.
As long as
Since-
it's not
since-
FFDS.
Yeah.
Since we're saying it's not a kid's show, is it time for a shot?
Yeah, I think so. No, but you know what? I did not think of one. The one,
Kevin's first one.
Go ahead.
the one movie that I thought, and I'm not a scary movie person, but the one movie I thought was gonna be good was Oculus.
Never.
Haven't
I have
seen
not seen that.
That
That's
was,
the one with
don't waste 2 hours of your life. It's about a mirror that will haunt you, and then everyone dies.
Is that
Yeah,
the
that's
one
the
where
one
they
with
buy the
Karen.
mirror off of eBay?
It's with
Something like that,
Karen
yeah.
Gillan on-
That's the lesson right there. Don't buy old looking shit off eBay.
No.
I honestly thought
That may have got it from Craigslist.
Yeah,
It's even worse.
The guy that sold it to you is going to kill you.
that'll get you.
I honestly
Do you have any
thought.
glasses? You go drinking straight?
It doesn't.
Fucking turn
Whatever.
it.
It's like, ah, whatever.
Does anyone have mouth herpes?
No, I'm good.
Chris, what's yours?
I honestly, I was gonna say Sucker Punch, but since you brought up horror films before I asked Brooks a question, my horror film that I thought was gonna be greater, that was horrible to me, was Insidious. Because Insidious wasn't even scary; it was just more of just stuff like jumping
Didn't
out
watch it.
at you, and you're just like, "All right, what was the point of that?"
You know what? That's why I'm a
Overall, it was
little.
horrible to me.
Again, I'm not a scary movie aficionado by any means. I don't like. I will not watch a possession movie. I don't like those. But
Those are the good ones.
I will say this. Poltergeist, I haven't seen it yet. I'm excited to see it only because I've seen the original.
Yes.
That
And,
was my question.
You know,
for
Sam
you.
Raimi, from what the trailer looks like, there's scenes, like for instance in the trailer, where it shows him like messing with his face
Oh,
because his face is messing up,
That
whatever the
freaked me
thing.
out as a kid.
That in the kid, yeah, right, as a kid, yeah.
Where it came out. And
You know, you got the tree. You know,
Oh, yeah, I can still watch the original and be like excited about it.
You
'Cause I don't really
like,
get.
you've got the tree, you've got the Indian burial ground, like all that stuff.
Yeah.
He still kept in the same stuff.
Yeah.
So that I'm excited for that, but yeah, I'm still. I hope he doesn't. I hope it's not. I hope it's not messed up. Basically,
Well,
On-
I've
on-
seen. Go ahead.
On that same premise, they're remaking one of those old movies that was a classic that needed to stay remade. Have y'all seen the god awful trailer Point Break?
I have not seen
Yeah.
it yet.
Oh
I'm
my
not.
God!
I didn't even recognize any of the
they
actors.
They don't even. I
saw an
recognize
article.
one actor.
Who's in it?
Nobody. Nobody, and they don't need
Well-
to do with it. They're basically. It's the same premise, but they're more high tech criminals. They're not I don't
Point
think-
Break was a sweet movie.
Yes, it
Well,
was,
let's-
and they need to leave it that way.
All right, Randall. So what's your worst movie? Because I actually want to get back to that, but let's go with the worst
Okay.
movies, and then we'll get back to that because there's a good point about that.
Well, see, the worst movie for me, I got two actually, was Ouija. It was not. when I
Refuse
saw
to
the
watch it.
movie,
Refuse to watch
It
it.
was not what I was like. And the other one's Daredevil.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
come on, man.
No.
It was okay.
No.
No,
Okay.
No.
Let's not do this.
No.
Because Matt will get so.
Let's not.
Daredevil. You mentioned
Daredevil being one
Daredevil's
of
one
the
of Randall's, and Chris was like, "Oh, come on, man, it's not bad."
It was okay.
The
Okay.
Netflix
Before
series
this-
is way better than the movie was.
It was more.
I'm sorry.
It was
Colin
more.
Farrell with the big target on his forehead and acting like a complete jackass. That was like the worst best part for me. I laughed. I was like, "This is the stupidest
was
thing."
fun.
I got one question.
Since you
Where's
said
my
that-
bloody costume?
And he never got one.
No.
Since you said Daredevil, I'm gonna say the original Hulk film before Marvel actually made the Incredible Hulk.
And I hate that everybody hates all the Hulk
Eric Bana.
films.
I
They're
do
not
too, man.
that
First of
bad.
all, the first one wasn't that bad. It was just super slow. Like
Well,
it was
it
like
had-
an hour and a half before you
They
even came
spent
to
too
Hulk.
long. They spent too long trying to tell whoever didn't know about the Hulk.
Yeah,
They spent way too long trying to tell you what happened, why the Hulk was who he was.
Right.
If they would have just went into, hey, his dad did some shit, whatever, it's in his blood, he's the Hulk for the rest of the movie, probably would have been okay. But it was too much of the flashbacks and too much of the, whatever.
The first one, right?
Yeah, the first one.
But see, I think the one with Edward Norton, Incredible Hulk, was awesome.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw it in the theater, and I was like,
It
"This is
was
this is
amazing.
the Hulk movie that they should have made the first
It
time."
started off first 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it was like
First
the
rage.
show too, because like in the beginning they have like you get this little
The flashes.
intro
The
sequence
flashes
that shows
that-
like, okay, this is where
Right, kinda like
just
the show
The
did.
show, yeah.
Right.
And I was like, oh, this is gonna be sweet, and I thought it was awesome, man. And honestly, I wanted Edward Norton to continue playing him after that role, but
I don't know, I like
Until
Mark
Mark
Ruffalo?
Ruffalo took over.
I like
but
Mark
when
Ruffalo.
I didn't know about Mark Ruffalo, I was like, I don't know, like Edward Norton should be doing this, and then I saw Mark Ruffalo do it, and I was like, this guy is amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
All right,
Hey,
Kevin,
dude,
what's
all I know is one of these days I want to see Pop dressed up like Rufio.
Every year I try to get
me
him
and
to do
Pop were
that.
going to do it for Halloween, but I could not find a Peter Pan costume.
Well, you can get this year.
All right, Kevin, what's your...
Man, that's a tough one. I'm literally going to have to go back and try to figure out the worst movie I've ever seen.
Are you going to go with a Batman?
That was one of the...
Val Kilmer is Batman.
George
No.
Clooney.
The Val Kilmer one, Batman Forever, actually, I kind of enjoyed it. To see Jim Carrey run around as a
go there.
Riddler trying to be kind of... It was like, he's trying.
Well, here's the thing, but the thing
But
is...
the
they,
George Clooney Batman...
With-
I thought he
but-
did I thought he did an
I
awesome Bruce
honestly,
Wayne.
I'm one of those people that I loved Val Kilmer as Batman.
But-
Not gonna lie, when it came out,
A lot of
I
people-
liked it a
A
lot.
lot
They
of people
picked-
believe George Clooney was at the absolute
with
worst.
Jim Carrey, though,
Oh,
with
hands
Jim
down.
Carrey, they picked the right person for that style of movie, Riddler.
Yeah.
But if you were to try to put Jim Carrey,
And
say
one
in
of
The
new
Dark
Batmans,
Knight,
yeah.
I think you could do it. I really do.
you think
I
him?
absolutely think
Oh,
you
Jim
could do it.
Carrey, he can
he-
handle that off,
Sunshine?
man. He's
What was the
No.
movie where he's crazy?
23.
23.
Yeah, he
23.
could-
Number
he
23.
could
I love that
He
movie.
could have definitely
I
did
love
that.
See, I don't think he could have been as dark as.
Oh, I
I don't
think-
think he could have been a Heath Ledger
Oh,
kind
I
of.
do.
You think so?
Absolutely.
I don't know if he could have been as dark, but he could have been absolutely crazy and made it a completely different film.
Yeah, where
That's
he needed to have been for a darker Batman movie, he could have definitely done that.
That's another point.
But his
back
dark,
to the
his
critics.
his darkness would have been
Yeah.
like that crazy darkness, like, oh, this dude's crazy.
Because that movie 23 he came out with, he was supposed to be what he was kind of insane or crazy, and that was apparently a flop.
You know, I saw that movie one time, and yeah, it from what I remember of it, it got horrible stuff. It was one of those ones that was on TV, and I was like, okay, I'll
It
watch
gets
it.
absolutely shit on by critics.
Who, Jim Carrey?
No, at
Oh, the
number
movie
23.
23, yeah.
I love it.
It was.
man.
I like it, and they
Yeah.
shit on it because of the ending. They say the ending was too, I don't know, cliche or predictable or whatever, or it wasn't enough of a. It was like a backfire twist with it to find out that he originally wrote it and had amnesia and this and that, and it was, which that's fine. The movie itself was good. The entire movie, you're sitting there thinking, why do all these things add up to 23? And to this day, I will look at the numbers on the front porch and go, does that add to 23?
23. All right, so let's go. Shanty, what's your worst movie?
Mine actually, Matt and I were talking about this earlier today. Combination of hype and disappointment. the first Final Fantasy movie.
Spirits Within.
Spirits
Within.
Within.
Yeah, I did expect more from that myself.
We did talk about that earlier.
You have this incredibly great video game company puts out some of the best computer-generated graphics ever, and then we get that piece of crap.
Well,
It was completely different from what I.
The reason it came up earlier is we were talking about, if there's, I guess there's going to be a Warcraft movie, and that could be a complete game changer because yes, there's been CG movies, but nothing like the quality that Blizzard puts out. Thank you.
I was upset with the Halo Forward into Dawn or whatever.
Red and that.
Now, see, I enjoyed Forward into Dawn.
See,
I watched it on YouTube.
I was expecting more for some reason. It didn't seem like it because don't get me wrong. I would like you were with Halo. I was one of those freaks. I would get about 2 hours of sleep a day.
Right.
Go to work, come home, play nonstop, whatever. I even did it on the original Xbox where you could go through your laptop with XB Connect and play online and all that stuff. Like, remember that?
On your original Xbox?
Yeah.
When you had to go through, what was that? Something Spy.
No, it was the program was XB Connect.
Well, you had XB Connect, but there was a network that you had to find players through. Once you finally got it hooked up through the computer.
The thing with Forward into Dawn is
like
you almost have to you almost have to read some of the books to be able to look at Forward into the Dawn correctly. You have to look at it differently.
Me personally, I think Forward into Dawn did a great job of actually highlighting the other people in the Halo universe compared to just, hey, I'm this one awesome soldier, count on me to save the world.
Right, and I thought it was a good prequel to. We already, we jump into Halo. We already know who the Spartans are. We know kind of the backstory of that they were created. That there were these group of basically abducted children that had been raised from the time that they were like 5 to be Spartans. They've been physically and mentally modified to be this. And here are these new recruits to just be soldiers that have no clue. They admire Spartans, but they have no idea where they're coming from, or they have these soldiers that they look up to, but they're not like the chief. They see this 7-foot chief, and they're just like, "Who are you?"
And that's what I saw for it is that Don more telling that other story,
right?
Because there is a whole other world there than just the.
And that was like
I actually thought of another film that was absolutely horrible, and it was even horrible when I was a kid and enjoyed Mario. But the Mario Brothers live action film,
any of those movies,
that was the worst thing I've ever saw as a kid, dude. Oh my goodness.
Which way? Which one? I missed it.
The Super Mario movie.
You know what?
John Leguizamo.
The Bomb and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved it.
What?
I
did too.
Super
To
Mario.
this day, I will go up to some of my friends and put my hands on their back and try to sway them.
That and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the new one.
Come on. Hey, you know what? Coming from that though, everybody walk the dinosaur and go ninja, go.
God.
I mean, some of the
got
best
great music out of that.
It's some great stuff. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's so many movies that could have been bad that end up being classics.
Yeah.
For instance, my favorite, Boondock Saints.
That one in Fight Club. Fight Club in the movies bombed. Until it got to DVD, that's when it blew up and became the.
Was not.
Have you guys seen like all the opinions about how Brad Pitt's character and the girl are actually not real? It's just his imagination or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's
you know how many times I watched Fight Club till I realized it just whenever we're the same person.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I had to watch the movie so many times to see, some certain stuff like how they're never in the same room,
dude.
Stuff like that. I never picked up on that.
Really?
For some reason, it never clicked with me that. Well, shit.
You didn't see the flashes of Tyler Durden?
She's talking. Well, no.
Yeah, did you not see the subliminal images?
I saw some, but it
did you see them the second time?
It's when you watch it the second time that you're like...
That second time, you're like... You see him, because he starts showing up
in the airport.
At the beginning of the movie. Like, you see, Edward Norton will be talking, and you'll just see, a subliminal image of Brad Pitt just flash on the screen, probably 5 times before you even see him. That's pretty sweet. Fight Club, honestly...
Whiskey smells so good right now.
It's really good. Fight Club's,
I'm so sad
my
at
favorite
work.
movie.
Well, all right. Matt, did you do your
The Phantom.
The
No.
Phantom. That's
With
right.
Billy
That's
Zane.
I
Yeah,
figured
did you ever
it.
see
See, that's how bad the movie
Yeah.
was. I forgot.
Right? That's like, okay,
The skulls that he put together and had like the
So-
laser beam with
so-
yeah.
So me and my parents have always done movies, and I'm real close with my parents. I'm real close with my mom. Real close with my dad. I go to movies more with my mom than anybody, and that is the one thing that we use as a bar for how bad a movie is. We're like, it was bad, but was it Phantom bad?
I mean, there's always Kick-Ass 2.
Yeah.
I was really upset with that film. That man.
Really?
Yeah, because
I
it was just, it just wasn't.
Kick-Ass too.
It just didn't capture Kick-Ass as much as the first one did.
I thought
First
it
one was
captured it
awesome.
more.
I think
thought it was
the second one was absolutely not needed.
I just feel like the plot was just.
He might have Mother Russia.
Exactly.
Crazy.
It was good.
He's
but
like,
just-
I love John because I'm on that thing. He's like, whoa. He's like, Black Death or Black Plague or whatever. He's like, that's not extremely racist to you. And then, like, he's like saying all these things. Like, whoa, you can't say stuff like that. But all right. Well, we want to thank everybody for listening to us and everything. That's our little show for the day. If you have any questions or want to comment or anything, follow us on Facebook. Bush League Geek. We're on Twitter at Bush League Geek. You can send us email, bushleaguegeek@gmail.com. And again, we want to thank everybody for listening to us.
Hopefully, we were enjoyable.
And by all means, throw us some suggestions for us to talk
If
about.
you
Yeah.
want something for us to talk about, let us know.
All right, guys. Till next time.